Hello, everyone. How are we today? How's everyone handling these energies here? Been quite a few couple of weeks, and it's one of those that we're all coming here how we are, how things are just presenting themselves, and we do the best we can from where we are, and the only thing you do is just keep on pushing through. I'm coming to you today, as you can see, I'm just sitting here, just in more of a natural state, have a little bit better of a background. And, I've just been enjoying the day myself, just doing some creating, being in a creative mode. Just allow myself just to be as relaxed as I possibly can, to allow for, those times and those moments where I can feel that, no matter what's taking place and no matter what's being presented, I always know that as long as I go inward and I give myself a chance and opportunity to do what I need to feel what's going on there first, I'm always definitely going to be able to know how to see what is going on out here so much more clear, so much more defined. And I have I definitely have a PowerPoint for y'all again today, and I'm going to come with you to a land of integrity, to a land of honesty, to the land of my point of view. And given that this show is being renamed again, only because I said that I would, bring forth, more of an understanding about enoology, but also incorporate etymology into this. I decided that this needed to be more, expressive of the two ologies that I feel is very vitally important for, just us as human beings need to understand and get back to the origins and the root of the meanings and what their true purpose in their statement originated from. And so I have a PowerPoint here ready. So I hope all y'all are prepared to see what it is I bring to the table for you today. And there's definitely some, topic that we'll be going over that, like I said, I'm just here to express what I see. And what I see is what I allow to be reflected back to me so that I may understand more about, what's taking place in this world, why it's taking place, to see through and definitely get as much clarity as possible in my understanding of, where the nefarious lies, where the misleading takes ones that are, focused in what's going on in, these recent here now times, to understand how to see both perspectives. So, that when you can see both perspectives, you're able to know that you're centered in that your two hemispheres are working together to help you understand the all of what is taking place. To be able to see that, it's a game that's played. It can be played so well that we forget that, we're either the king or the queen, or we're a pawn in this game. And for me, I'm the observer. I don't play the game. I watch the game to see the strategic moves. And I've gotten very good at that. Being such the observer that I am, in seeing how, people present themselves, how circumstances come to formulate through scenarios that are present within an environment, given where you are in this world. So I actually get enjoyment out of it because it puts me in a place of challenging myself to stay in these present moments of everyday life in what it is that is reflecting back to me. And with that, I can only keep going further and further into the truth of what this life means for me. And, it just helps me to be more of a centered individual for myself, which helps me come here and assist, provide, guide, hand you the tools that I hope that you utilize in ways that brings that forth within you. So let me see if I can get this thrown up here and do it correctly, appropriately. Just give me a moment here. I'm going to go ahead and get this thrown up here because I got some pretty good nuggets to bring here to provide you and to go over. There's definitely some etymology in here, and there's definitely going to be a little bit of eneology. And that eneology is going to speak to basically what's taking place and transpiring around this April 8th. How would I even describe this right now? April 8th is one of those that has been so focused upon. And, given the nefariousness of times before, I feel that April 8th has been so significant in what is being utilized in so many different ways in propagandic and narrated scripts, so to speak. And as I keep listening to this, I keep looking at this, and I keep being shown things, as I'm going through, because I really don't look at too many social media outlets, because I just don't. I keep up to date through, whatever it is that I'm presented with. And there's just those times that when I'm on my computer and I'm doing work, because I'm in such creative mode, and I'm in so much of, just gaining knowledge and information for wherever it is that I'm being sent, or whatever was put before me to go and do a deeper dive in. I do this on a daily basis. So when something's presented to me, it's like, wow, I guess this is something I need to look at. This is something that obviously needs to be spoken to, because out here right now, I'm just going to put it to you like this. Everybody's got opinion, just like everybody's got an asshole. Okay. So it's all about where it's coming from, how they're formulating that information. Are they really sitting with it? Are they doing their deep dives? Are they doing what they feel they need to in order to provide you with the most accurate and factual information, that they possibly can? But here's the biggest thing that I've come to understand about myself. As I gain this information, I look at it and I allow it to do what it needs to here. I let the brain take it in and sort it out. And when I get the chance and opportunity, after I've done the research and after I've done the looking and deep diving and digging into, I sit with it. I sit with it, and, I let it stew. And then I allow the two hemispheres to meet the higher aspect of myself, this being that is surrounding this avatar. And I let them come together at that meeting place, and I allow it to show me what it is I need to see for self as to how reflective of this is it forming, in order to understand past experiences that helps me to better understand what's taking place in this here and now space. And, I am not like some genius. I'm not a genius, y'all. I'm a being having a human experience, and what I'm doing is I'm gaining the information to have the knowledge to bring to the table when I want to formulate the factual or actual circumstances or situations that are taking place in my here now space and time, and even out here. So that's where, they say that seers are, they could always predict the future. Well, they can, but it's also, in order to do that, one must be centered so much and be in their present moment and in their awareness as they're allowing this information to just settle and sit and come forth in a way that they understand for themselves is about as pure as it can get of a picture. Then that's where that you hone in on those gifts. And that's what I do. I hone my gift. I hone my ability to be able to see what's taking place, what's going on, and to bring that to you here each week. If not, a little bit of snippets here and there in the Telegram or Facebook or TikTok or wherever it may be on some of these social media platforms. So it's one of those that's what I do. And this is what I'm here to present to you today. There's so much that I can talk to you about. There's so much that I want so much to be able to bring this information to you in a way and into a position and place where I can give it to you in one sitting, and you would hear and understand how to utilize the guidance and the tools that I provide for self, so that way you can see what this life is truly about and have so much more fun with it. To understand that we don't have to be so serious about things, because when you look at it, there's not just one huge big Sirius that's up in the sky. There's Sirius A and Sirius B. So you might as well just go ahead and get yourself a courtroom with, those little stands that you got lawyers sitting there, because that's what's going to take place in the mind. But here's the thing. It can be one of those that it can be a comedy where, the left side and the right side are, they're providing their arguments while, the judge, yourself, the higher being, is sitting there at the, heck, I can't even remember what the name of it is. That's just how much I care about the importance of it. Anyways, as you're sitting there, it's a judgment. And what you're doing is you're just hearing both arguments, and then the judge brings down, basically their understanding of the argument from both perspectives as to what the truth may be. So, and if you've ever been in a courtroom or if you ever watched any of them shows, that somewhere along the line, someone's going to not be so happy about it. But as you get better at this, then what happens is the judge can come up with a way that keeps it centered where both parties don't walk away pissed off. So let's go ahead and get on into this. I appreciate everyone here. I see that your comments. If I'm not replying, just give me a chance and opportunity. I just want to be able to get into this. It's good to see you, Ada. It's good to see you, Carolyn and Shay, and of course Cindy over there on Facebook as well. What's up, Tango? It's good to see you here, my friend. T. Krill, how's it going? How's it going? How's it going? It was good to see you earlier. Good to hear from you. So I'm going to go ahead and get on into this and get this put up here. And let's deep dive into here. All right. So, okay, it's not bringing up the proper screen. So there we go. Oh, hang on. Let me remove this here. There we go. Now you can see me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go into full screen so I can see this. So I'm not going to be able to see any comments or anything, but I will be here with you. So today we're going to go over what's called a tachyonic energy. I found that this was very important to bring forth, because this kind of is a way to be able to give you a general clue and idea as to whenever I talk about elements and when we have a thought, how elements immediately is like, that thought is asking the genie in the bottle, which are the elements, to come together and to start formulating to create a manifestation of that thought that you have. Now, there's still controversy around tachyonic energy as far as, fact-based. But when we look at things and we look at tachyonic energy and we see what it relates to, you'll begin to understand why I bring this forth, because it's just an energy. And that's the beauty to this, is that even with tachyonic energy, when you look at it, you see everything is energy, then you understand that there is something to be said about this alone. Of course, you see, I've got Armageddon up there, and in this right here is a nugget, because I want people to understand what Armageddon really ultimately stands for, all the way down to its etymological sense, so that you understand that, with everything that's going on out here, especially with, the April 8th eclipse and things like that. Of course, there's going to be those ones that are narrating, their belief about this. And, Armageddon, Revelation, this is about the Bible, these are the prophecies. And to a level and degree, it is. But do you understand it at a level where you see through the mudded words that have been added and surrounds the truth of the center of what all this is about. And of course, we're going to go over balloons and Baffoonary, because when you look at balloon and you understand etymology helps you to understand that you can see a word and to be able to relate it to other things that sound the same or may even have a meaning that is close to the specific word that you're looking at. And like we're seeing here, balloons, Baffoonary. However, that doesn't mean this is a good or a bad, it's an up or a down, it's left to a right. What I bring to you is just pure information that helps you gain knowledge to understand something at its origin. And that's what I said I'm here to do. This is what's going to take place. And here we go. Let's get into this. So, tachyonic energy, what is it? So I'm not going to sit here and read this whole thing, because like the last time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it in a Telegram group. I'm going to get to where I'm going to go back later to Rumble and YouTube and Facebook, and I'm going to attach this to the description area, so that way anybody and everybody that wants to be able to just take this and upload it, you can. Okay, I'm just going to hit upon the points here that just need to be touched upon, so that you just have a general clue and idea as to where I'm going in what I'm about to express a connection with. So what it is and what it means. The term tachyonic energy is derived from the hypothetical concept of tachyons, which are particles postulated in theoretical physics. To dissect the etymology of tachyonic, we must look at the root word tachyon, which means, or which comes from the Greek word tachys, or tachys, meaning swift or fast. The suffix on, which is commonly used in the names of subatomic particles like proton and neutron, indicates an entity or a particle. Therefore, tachyon literally means swift particle. Tachyons are theoretical particles that, if they exist, would travel faster than the speed of light. This concept arises from the equations of the theory of special relativity formulated by Albert Einstein. So I can get where there is the controversy about tachyon or tachyonic energy, especially when we're looking at things. But when you understand what math is and myat, and you know that geometry deals with math because of pi and phi, then you begin to see a correlation, and you see through some of what's taking place when things like tachyonic energy is presented, and where you can read through where the truth is and where the falsity of conveyance of what someone is hypothetically saying it is, without having fact or something to back it up with. So according to these equations, a particle with an imaginary mass, that is a mass with a complex number with an imaginary unit. Now, when we get into this, man, it just takes me to crypto. I'm just saying, would travel at superluminal speeds. And that is just one of those that you can't even imagine that. So the energy associated with such particles is what might refer to as tachyonic energy. However, it is important to note that tachyons and tachyonic energy remain with the realm of theoretical physics and have not been observed or proven to exist. So that's the reason why when I bring this to you, I bring you the fullness of what's been expressed about certain things, especially when it comes out with, if it deals, especially these days, with physics, but with science, okay? And I'm not bashing any of this, believe me. But what I'm doing is I'm bringing forth to you your ability to be able to read into this, go even deeper if you so choose, to understand both, to be able to formulate in a concept for self off of your own research, to be able to create or be able to have the ability to make an informed choice without all the nefarious with it. Because then you read through the information, you get a feel, literally, because your body's responding to what you're reading as to what's truth and what's not. And that's where the phrase comes in. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind kind of theory. All right, so that's tachyonic energy. So what I wanted to bring forth here is why I felt this was important, because when you look at tachyonic energy, then it speaks to one particular subject I've covered before, where when you understand elements and how they work together, and understand how Platonic solids come to be, then you begin to understand more of a fullness of the wholeness of the possibilities and the ability to think outside the box kind of way of look at things. So when you look at Platonic solids with the elementals, and I'm going to go over the elementals first because the elementals were here before the Platonic solids, yet the Platonic solids would not be if it was not for the elements, the elementals. That's the reason why there's 5. You've got fire, which when you look at it is your tetrahedron. You've got air, which is your octahedron. You've got earth, which is your hexahedron. You've got water, which is the icosahedron. Sometimes that was a little difficult to say. And then you've got aether, which is your dodecahedron. Okay. Now, when you look over here at the Platonic solids, what that explains is that when you look at this and you understand prisms, and you understand how mandalas and geometric shapes and all that come together through the vortex and portals and gateways of understanding how all of it works together, that is an alchemical level of understanding that I still have yet to reach to understand, but I'm getting there. That you understand how if they become a Platonic solid, because the feminine aspect is of the curve. Okay. And then you've got the masculine, which are of lines. Yet, when you look at a compass, it is of the feminine energy, even though you see it, it's able to create the curve. So they work in unison with one another. Okay. So when you look at Platonic solids and you understand prisms and you understand how they come to be by using methods of math, by understanding geometry and how, pi and phi play into a lot of what, how Earth itself formulates these solids. Okay. So when we look at tachyonic energy and you look at the concept that, okay, if there is such a thing as tachyonic energy and it works faster than the speed of light, then you relate that to thought, because the only other thing that's faster than speed of light is thought. So that got me, working on this, because it was T who brought this to my attention, and I was like, oh, I can speak about this, because this right here is just another this kind of, in a way, not really confirms, but it's something that just speaks to what I've been conveying about the beauty in the process of thought, and how the elementals, when we understand on an alchemical level of the magician, of magic, which means something totally different than what it was converted to in the English language. Then you begin to understand how to work with this realm, so to speak, because you understand, instead of looking at the elementals and not understanding how they work together, when you understand the process of how they come together to formulate, but yet understand how they also, bounce off one another, depending on if it's a liquid, gas, solid, things like that, then you really come to understand what the magician is ultimately about. And the magician is the one that just knows how to bring things together in an alchemical way to utilize that element or that solid, or their ability to understand or conceptualize at that higher level that the being that is with this vessel knows. So it's tapping in, it's getting past those barriers, where when we begin to have the two hemispheres work together as one, then what we're doing is we're in that process of alchemizing. we're in that process of alchemizing information to understand it in a way that produces a knowledge that taps into a wisdom that is already here. It exists. So that's what this was about. This is why I'm bringing this to you, because I just want to be able to broaden your way of understanding. I want you to be able to understand that the deeper you get into this, if it's something that you really enjoy, being a sponge like myself, go for it, because it becomes fun. And then when you understand how things work, then it's like you get this little bit of giddiness within you to learn more, so you can shape and mold and create and have those thoughts that of the creative process that brings forth more and more of those experiences that just makes the heart lift. Because when the heart gets involved, then you're creating from a place of love, because you are that love. And in that creation and in that creative process of love, everything comes to be. And it's like you can sit there and just allow go to form in your hand. That's what elementals are, is just understanding how to get them to work together. Just as much as we know when they're not working together can be just as catastrophic as it is wonderfully beautiful when they come together to create these beautiful, furnitures and chairs and food and things like that. So I just wanted to bring that forth on this one. So we're just going to move on to the next one here. So here we are at Armageddon. And of course, I am in the way, because sometimes I have the tendency to forget that I need to make things a little smaller. But like I said, we'll be placing this out there. So what I want to do is be able to go through Armageddon. So what I'm going to do is escape out of the full screen here before we go any further. If y'all give me a chance, I'm going to get through this. I'm going to do what I can to get through, so I can definitely answer as many questions as I can. Of course, if I can't get to all the questions, there's always the comment section down below that I can reply in as well. And of course, there will be each month a Q&A. Me coming to you here live was because I just didn't have a chance and opportunity to create this video before it was time for it to go live. So that's why I'm sitting here before you. So you get to have me live this week. Next week, I don't know. We'll see. But I will definitely have a live Q&A once a month. So that way, each of you can come in here and ask me questions about the material or anything that we are going over, or that I'm going over. So that way I can give you an answer to, what it is I formulate as far as a point of view or a perspective is concerned. All right, guys, how are we doing over here in Rumble? Are we doing good? Are we doing good? All right. All right, Poop Liquor 9000. All right, I tell you what, you're either here just to hear what it is that I have to express, or you're not. It's just one of those that this is just my point of view. It is what it is. So all I ask is that if it's questions, cool, I'll get to it as far as if that's what you would like. If not, all I ask you is just have a little bit of respect. That's it. So this is just something I bring forth here. It's my point of view. It's my perspective. It's something that I see. And that's all it is. You do what you want to with it. Like I've said earlier, this is one of those, take resonates, leave the rest behind. If it doesn't resonate at all, thank you for showing up. Thank you for giving me a chance and opportunity. Other than that, enjoy the show if you choose to stick around. All right, we're going to keep moving forward here. And so we're going to go over Armageddon because, like I said, it's very valuable, important for you to understand the root of the origin of words. So that way you don't get confused whenever you do read things like the Bible. Because in all actuality, the Bible is actually a coded book. When you're able to see past the nefariousness where, the Roman Empire and, I can't think of what it's called now, because it's right here because I'm present. So whenever, the religions decided to begin to put to the context in the Bible or other books at the time, wanted to put in a little bit of screwiness and some nefariousness and misleading information because they wanted to, definitely affect the masses in their way of perspective about what life was and how they should be living it, and things like that, which has led us to the place and space of more and more enslavement because of us enslaving ourselves through our mind by what we were being given here. So Armageddon, the word Armageddon is most famously referenced in the Christian New Testament in the book of Revelation 16:16. Now, when you get into understanding what numerology and understanding numbers and understanding how they come together, when you add 1 plus 6 and 1 plus 6, and they're on the sign of dashes, it comes to 7. Okay, so all that means is it's a chakra system in my perspective, but also what it means is the feminine and the masculine. Okay, because there's 7 levels to both. That's the chakra systems. You have the feminine, you have the masculine. So when you begin to read this and you look at stuff like this, it's like it deals with who we are and what happens within us because of the nefariousness that is altering our ability to stay connected on that masculine and feminine, to stay centered in our awareness, to make informed choices about the life we want to come here to live. Where it is described as the site of a cataclysmic battle between the forces of good and evil. So there you go. Masculine and feminine. All they're doing is just, they're putting words to that in order to form the separation within us, in our minds, in our brain. Preceding the end of the world. The etymology of Armageddon is rooted in ancient Hebrew. It is believed to be a transliteration of the Hebrew phrase Har Megiddo, with Har meaning mountain or hill, and Megiddo being the name of a place in ancient Israel. Megiddo was an actual city situated in a strategic location at the crossroads of important trade routes in the Jezreel Valley. It witnessed numerous historical battles and was of a significant military importance due to its location. So you see, military has been around for a long time. When you come to understand the truth and the origin of what militaries are and what they were formulated for, you'll begin to understand and start seeing patterns, because all this is patterns. That's the reason why you keep hearing people say, this is the reason why history repeats itself. The choice of this site in the apocalyptic imagery of Revelation may be symbolic of the ultimate confrontation between cosmic forces, drawing upon the historical significance of Megiddo as a place of conflict. Place of conflict. All they're doing is just naming it different places and different things to confuse us. So that's the reason why it's so difficult for us to understand what's taking place, because we think it's taking place outside of us, and it is, but it first took place within us. And that's what we're here to do, and that's what I'm here to do, is help you understand how to stop that, how to bring both of them back together where there's no conflict, for there's no separation. The prefix Har in Hebrew does indeed mean mountain, but there is no mountain known as Megiddo. The city itself is situated on a tell. So there you go, which is an ancient mound created by the accumulation of successive layers of habitation. The term mountain in this context could be metaphorical, representing a great height or a place of significant elevation, which is a common motive in religious and mythological literature to denote a place of great importance or a site where divine or monumental events occur. Now, the one that I really want to touch upon is this one right here. So that way you get you get where I'm taking you with this, so that you understand why I'm expressing it in the way that I am. Over time, Armageddon has transcended its scriptural origins to become a term used more broadly to describe any end-of-the-world scenario or cataclysmic, dagnabbit, I swear I can say these words, cataclysmic event. Its etymological journey from a specific geographic location to a concept of ultimate destruction reflects the power of language to evolve and expand in meaning. Let us go down and confuse them. They confused us with our language, influenced by cultural, religious, and social context. So when we begin to understand that when they did confuse us back in the times, it was because they used language. And what they would do is you would have armies that would come in, that would take over an area, overwhelm them, and then over time they would either add the language that they were utilizing from another area or another region into the one that they just took over. So that way the communication would break down. That way, your sacred language and your sacred way of understanding things began to become diluted, so to speak, just due to this nefariousness. So that's the reason why when you read something, you must read it from a place of understanding the etymological root origin of words, because English is Spanglish, so to speak. It derived from French, it's derived from Greek, it's derived from Latin. And then in that, those Latin words were expanded upon to mean something in the English language. So at this point in time, the reason why it's so hard and why it's so easy to a level of degree for people to get to a place of argumentativeness is because we utilize words that truly have no significant or original meaning. They're based off of other languages, where if we were to go back to the origin of our language, we would know exactly what we are speaking to one another. Instead of all this confusion and all this arguing and all this thought of judgment, where when you utilize a word, how's it really ultimately being utilized? That's why I say etymology is very vitally important to understand the language that you're using. And every continent and every country have their etymological definitions as to why their language has expanded to the places that it has. So if you're able to put in the time to go and give yourself a little bit of understanding of these words, when you look at that English language, you've got 26 words, yet originally there were 40 tones. So you see, when you begin to understand this and put forth that effort, just to gain that little bit of knowledge each day or each week, whatever the time is that you put aside, it's always going to be invaluable. Always. So let's move on. So of course, like I said, I am here to speak upon this April 8th, 2024 eclipse. So I've seen all the stuff that's going on. I've seen everything that, all the propaganda. I've seen all the narratives that are being utilized out here. I'm seeing, everyone that's out here, they've got their own opinion of what's taking place. Everybody has their own perspective. And I get that. I do. But the one thing, like I said, I'm going to do is every chance and opportunity I get, I'm going to bring forth information that's either going to speak to what's going on and give you the fullness of it, because I'm a very transparent individual. And I'm going to bring as much truth to this from both perspectives, because you got to see both perspectives. So that way you're not separating what the fullness of the truth of what's taking place is going on, because you got to see both. Because you're seeing it from the higher perspective of self, because you have the greater being of self that's with this body, that's helping guide this body. And then you have the two perspectives of the feminine and masculine within this vessel. So that's the reason why it's always three: mind, body, spirit, masculine, feminine, and spirit, higher self. That's the reason why everything's in threes, because everything has to be approached in a trifecta way, so to speak, because you're not just dealing with just the human being, the being itself. The human is not just dealing with itself. It always knows there's something else, because this is our ability to have that connection with that higher perspective, the higher self, because everything is mind, everything. So let me go ahead and get into this. And so I looked this up. I did some research. Of course, I used a little bit of Chat GPT and a few other ones to be able to formulate and take me to places to be able to get this information. So then I formulated it into one place here that brought it together. Okay. So yes, I asked, is there an actual eclipse happening on April 8th, 2024? Because you got the ones that say the ones that are in astronomy and things like that says it's not corresponding with what's taking place. So I'm just bringing forth to you what I was able to get out of this after the research. So I'm going to take a small drink here. Got to keep yourself hydrated. Yes, there is indeed a literal solar eclipse occurring on April 8th, 2024. This event is a total solar eclipse, which is particularly significant both astronomically and astrologically. Astronomically, a solar eclipse happens when the moon passes between the Earth and the sun, temporarily obscuring the sun's light. This particular eclipse is part of the Saros 139 series and will be visible across North America, with a path of totality stretching from Mexico through the United States into Canada. Astrologically, solar eclipses are considered powerful new moons, symbolizing beginnings, major changes, significant life events. They often mark times of accelerated growth, upheaval, and transformation. Now, if you understand, you've been watching T and I, we've been going through and helping you understand what is taking place and where the moon is at and what stage it's in is very vitally important for you to understand what's going on within you. Why things around you is taking, going haywire, chaotic, or if it seems as though it's lullaby and it's happy and it's free and it's flowing, it's because of the stages of the moon. The eclipse on April 8th, 2024 will occur in the sign of Aries. And if you know anything about Aries, it's just like any other sign. It has its specific energy, because everything's energy, that signifies its relativity of, like, because Aries is a fire sign. Okay. And Aries is the dominating, astrological sign right now because we're in April. So it being the sign of Aries, which is associated with assertiveness, initiative, and new beginnings. Okay. That's the significance of the energy of Aries. And that's what this is telling you. So with this taking place on April 8th, 2024, you're going to see a lot of this taking place because of the energies that are, in their proper positions and places, or depending on where they're at in proper position or place, what the angle is and their tilt and, all that other stuff that I'm still learning, but getting the concept of. Aries energy is all about the self, identity, and the initiation of new projects or chapters in life. We're coming to the time of spring. We're in spring. So when is that time and what is the best, astrological sign for that to take place? Aries, because it is about the self, identity, and initiation. It's about us. It's about who are we? Where are we within ourselves, so we can understand what's taking place out here to know what steps to take in order to know where we want to go and how we want to apply certain levels of understanding when it comes to a new project or new chapters in our lives. But there's so much more to this. I'm just, touching upon a bit of the basics that I understand, but there is more to this if you understand how to do the research in history, in understanding historical events and things like that. So in your personal astrological chart, the impact of this eclipse would depend on where Aries is located and the aspects it makes with other planets. So when you begin to understand, you've got archetypes. Your archetypes are your planets. Your planets are energies themselves. Your planets are reflective of the organs that are within your body. Aries is in the house of wherever it may be, Jupiter, Saturn, Mars, Moon, Sun, whatever it may be. Okay, so when you begin to understand things at the astrological or astronomical level, then you begin to understand the energies and what's taking place and how it's affecting you in this vessel. So if you have significant points or planets in Aries or the other cardinal signs, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, you may feel the effects of this eclipse more intensely. It could signify a powerful time for personal reinvention or the start of a new path in life. Okay, so when you start bringing all this together, you begin to start understanding, wow, this is beautiful, because you're seeing the bigger picture. You're beginning to understand the energy. You begin to understand how it moves, what it does, what it's creating, what it's doing over here, what it's doing over there. So you begin to understand why this is taking place in your body, why you're having insomnia, why you're having anxiety, why it seems as though you may be depressed, why it seems as though you're high and you're just all over the place and this, that, and the other. It depends on what's going on in your representation in the cardinal signs of what's going and taking place in the sky. Because we are stars. We are the star. We're reflective of the stars in the sky. So there's that. And so this is important. I wanted to bring this forth to you. So I was like, cool. All right. I don't know much about the Saros 139 series. So obviously there's more if we're at 139, or it's just something that they, describe it as, so that way that we understand what the events are. So of course, what did I do? I went and I looked it up some more. Tell me some more information. What is Saros 139 series? Now I'm not going to go over all this, but I just want to touch upon what 139 is. So the Saros cycle is a period of approximately 18 years, 11 days, and 8 hours that can be used to predict eclipses of the sun and moon. One Saros cycle after an eclipse, the sun, earth, and moon return to approximately the same relative geometry, and a nearly identical eclipse will occur, shifted by about 120 degrees in longitude. The Saros 139 series, to which the April 8th, 2024 solar eclipse belongs, is a sequence of solar eclipses that share similar geometrical and physical characteristics. This particular series began on May 17th, 1501, and will continue until June 21st, 2763. It includes both total and annular eclipse, depending on the specific alignment and distances between the Earth, Moon, and Sun at the time of each event. Each eclipse in the Saros 139 series is separated by one Saros cycle, approximately 18 years. And as the series progresses, the path of totality shifts westward across the globe due to the Earth's rotation. The eclipses in this series are notable for their long durations of totality, which can provide a profound experience for observers located within the path where the eclipse is total. Astrologically, each eclipse in the Saros series carries the energetic imprint of the series, which means each time it's gone through this, it's imprinted, which means it's written. The Saros 139 series, with its long history and continuation into the future, weaves a thread through time, marking moments of significant potential for change and evolution, both on a personal and a collective level. So when we get into this, we really want to know what's taking place, and we really want to know what the truth is for ourselves, instead of looking out and looking to see where all the nefariousness is taking place, all the narratives that are being created, all the scripts that are being written and put before you. Here's my script. This is my script. This is what I bring forth to you. I seek, I look, I research. This is what I come up with. Take what resonates and leave the rest behind. But I want to bring this to you because I want you to know there's more to this than you're being told. But if there are ones out there that are going through this and they're doing this level of research and they wanted to bring forth as much of this information in a way that has as much clarity as possible and as much truth of where the origin of this is coming from, then they're ones that you can listen to until you feel that maybe they're not bringing forth all the truth. Maybe they're doing the best that they can from where they are to master bringing this forth in a factual or a way that brings about something to back up what they're bringing forth to you. And that's what I'm here doing. So, of course, I can't go without pointing out all the buffoonery of this propagation and the responses. Now, I am not here to judge people. They do that on their own just fine, because I do it to myself just fine. What I'm here to do is to point out, you've got TikTok videos and you see all this that you see upon this screen. And I was going through them and I was like, oh my gosh, it's like you got it, that's touching upon astrology. You've got ones that are touching upon spirituality. You've got things touching upon, oh, the end of the world. Oh, this is about, DARPA. This is about NASA. And I don't doubt that it's not. Okay. I'm not doubting that it's not. All I'm saying is a lot of people are coming forth with their own information, but are they providing the truth of all the information? That's all I'm saying. And, I could do the same. And believe me, I wanted to, because I was like, there was one that was like, okay, we're going a little too far with the narrative here. Just like I brought to you last week when I showed you that picture of that ship that ran into the bridge. And you see there was a spark over here. Okay, we got another 9/11 event going on here. And I'll be, if not even 3 to 6 days later, there was another one. Come on, people. Come on. This is what I want to be able to bring forth to you, is the ability to have critical thinking, the ability to use some common sense to what's taking place, to know where the narrative is and where it's going and what they're showing you. Because what's happening is they're hiding something in the background. Okay. And most of the time, even with this propaganda and even with this misleading information, it's a form and a way to cause separation in self, which takes me to the next point. Now, I don't know these guys. Don't know them from Adam's cat house. And I judge them not for what they are doing. However, what I want to point out is how this information is being delivered. Okay. Now, if you know anything, depending on how much of whatever is true and what's not true and what is reality, what's the illusion, this is where we have to begin to understand we got to use our discernment. But in order to use discernment, we must know ourselves well enough to know where that discernment lies. And it either lies in one of the 2 or 3 places. You're either using your logical, rational mind, you're using your heart, or you're combining all of it to understand it as a whole at one time. For me, they're different. It's just different as to what energy I use in order to understand what's going on. With this one, we're going to come at this more probably from the rational, logical space, only because it was like, this was probably the biggest buffoonery I seen going on. And so I'm just going to touch upon this here because I want you to understand. Like I said, I'm not here to judge these guys. They're doing what they feel is probably best for the kindred as we go along. Look here, not there, narrated. Every bit of it's a script, people. It's to draw your attention, your energy to what's taking place. That's all it is. Everything that is presented to the collective, which is outside of them, not within them, is a propagandic, narrated, scripted, psyop calm by the ones who know, because they were given the knowledge that was kept from the collective to know how to utilize the important events in time, which is what I'm using as well, due to much research and understanding. As I'm coming to you, I'm just bringing you the truth of my research to push what they want the collective to feed their energy to, so that they may meet the nefarious deeds they have planned. Period. So you see, they don't want you to know how powerful you are, because they're so busy inserting their power to get your attention, to draw your energy to what it is they want you to see, so that you don't know what's going on back here. Yet when you can see through a lot of this, you're able to see the bigger picture. You're able to see how the game's being played, and you know where to place your focus and where not to place your focus. And for the most part, I'm just going to put it to you. I don't put my focus to this in ways that takes my energy. I look at it, I see through it, I bring here, and I say, this is my point of view. I give this no energy whatsoever. I'm just here to tell you what I see. Nothing I speak to here is good or bad. Nothing. It's not a judgment. It's not good or bad. It just is what it is. And I see what's taking place. I can see the moves that are being taken on this board game of all these people that think they're gods, that think you're not, but yet want you rooting on their team. You know, a way to do that is to keep up this nefariousness, to play this buffoonery, to get the attention of the collective. So that's where we still are. But it's getting better. It's improving because more and more people are becoming aware, because they're choosing themselves first. So most people don't know that they're playing a part or a script or playing out a role they have taken on in this mind trap propagation. Most of us feel we are doing the best that we can for our kindred. Yet, do we use enough discernment, common sense to see truth, given we have done our own research that provides us with a more informed choice through provable facts gathered in our research? Or, as it has been for years now, we eat the dish placed in front of us, thinking no poison mixed in. It's all about you. It's all about you. It's all about the being you are. It's all about what you emit. And that emittance is you. You emit that. Keep it. It's yours. It's your currency. It's your flow. It's your abundance. It's what creates all this. It's about your energy, mind, and focus. As long as you are choosing a side, separation at its finest, other than yours alone, suffering will continue until you see the truth of it all. It all. And the it is a game. The it is the ones that are drawing your attention to them. Look at what I'm doing over here. Look, I'm making this happen for you. Look, magician. Where'd the coin go? Because we're mesmerized. But there's also the ones that are still coming out of this, that are still trapped in that R complex, that monkey mind, due to the conditioning, the MK Ultra, the subliminal messaging, which is still taking place. But we'll cover that next week. I got you. So until you choose you and knowing all there is to the being you are, separation will ensue with you and out here. And that's the narrative they continue to push. This is what they still continue to come at us with. That as long as they can keep us separated in here and keep us from reaching here, from here to here, to keep that connection from happening, from fusing, suffering will continue. So you see, I'm here choosing to change me. I'm here choosing to do what I can to provide you with as much information of the truth of the knowledge that I gain of what's taking place. And I hope I've done that. at this point, I see that as I've been going through this, I don't even know if this is even recording. So I'm hoping it has, because I see that StreamYard is doing this. And I see since 4:46 p.m., there's been no replies. So I don't know if any of y'all are seeing this or hearing this. So I hope you are. So that's what I brought here for today. To understand this all as a whole. To understand that I want you to gain knowledge in information. I want you to know truth, so that way you have the chance and opportunity to make better informed choices. To know that you are valuable. To know that you're not a battery, yet you emit something so much greater than that. That this has always been about us. All of it. This has been about where we're putting our focus. For they've done it to us for a very, very long time. And as I said, and I will continue to say, I may not know it all. May never. I will always bring my best and my best research, given where I am. Because as I expand, all I want to do is come forth to you and help you expand in yourself. Because you see, I love me. And it's taken me a long time to get to this place of filling my cup back up. Because for so long, I poured it. And I'm not saying that that was wrong. I'm not saying that that was bad. I'm not saying that I'm sitting here with the pity or anything else like that. Because if I'd never done that, I would not know the difference. If I had never done that, I would not be sitting here before you. Because every bit of what I experience, even up to this very second, in this very moment, has been a blessing. It's helped shape, mold, form the being, or at least the vessel of the being that's encompassing this vessel more and more, and helping to guide and lead me in ways that I'm able to see for myself and make informed choices of where I choose to put my energy. But for the most part, it's always going to be with me. My energy is with me, and then I'm with others that are doing the same, where we enjoy each other's company, where we enjoy the being that we are with one another, individuated, yet know how to come together in unity, to form community. And that's what I'm here to do. So I hope I have presented a good one here for y'all today. Next week will be just as empowering. And I hope you've enjoyed this. I really appreciate you being here. I really appreciate your interactions. And I appreciate y'all being here with one another, speaking to one another, and just being and listening. And know that we are in the process of still creating ways with this, with our website, and even a new one that we are in the process of manifesting, where this information will be available for you to view. And I want you to know that here we want you to be who you are, because we've known long enough what we're not. And to be able to have that ability to go within ourselves so deeply that no matter what someone's being, saying, or doing, for the most part, it's not because of you. You just happen to just be in the vicinity. You must happen to be in the environment. You just happen to be in that energy field, given what they're doing, what they're being, what they're saying. Because they're going through their own. But the one thing I want to be able to do is come here and give you and provide you with information that helps tap into a knowledge, that helps you tap into the wisdom, that helps lead and guide them. It's about planting seeds. We're not here to save one another. No. See, that's what got us in this mess to begin with, looking for others to save us, or at least keep us safe, or where you see all this nefariousness that took place because we thought we were safe. No more. I'm here to teach you how to empower yourself, to stand up, to be truly sovereign, because you see, that's sovereignty. It's right here. It's right here. Because if you have a sound mind, they can't do anything to you. So know that I have had fun. I appreciate this. I love coming here to be able to provide you with this information, like I've said. And like I said, if there were any questions, I don't think there was. Yeah, I'm not seeing any questions, but like I said, please leave them below in the comment box. I will definitely get to them. And like I said, at least once a month, I'm going to come on here and I'll definitely make sure that it's in the description when we place these videos up so that you know. If you have any questions, come at me. I'll do the best I can to answer them or to give you my perspective, my point of view, because that's all this is. And I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope I've been able to provide you with much. And as you enjoy the rest of your day, I hope it's something that helps you go within, to know yourself more, to be able to have the ability to know the difference, to know where the separation takes place, so you know how to bring it back together, to see the bigger picture of this life we live, and know that it was always meant to be fun. It was always meant to have contrast, but it was also always meant for us to know fully and experientially the fullness of the information, so that way we can make greater and better informed choices. Until next week, I bid you a good day, and I'll talk to you later. Thank you, everyone.